All right. So we'll see what happens here. I just hit record right before, or I hit the Zoom right before 9 a.m. So I will try to Zoom record, especially chapter 1. After this, they're already out there from last semester. Every class was Zoom recorded, and they're pretty good. At least I think they're pretty good. So let me see. I'm going to share this. I got to make sure and share this screen. I'm going through my head of what I got to do to make sure I'm sharing the correct screen, and I think I am. Okay. And I'm not going to admit you to the class. So somebody out there wants to add the Zoom right here. I will record every class. Well, I don't know if I'm going to do it after this, because the first chapter, I don't have recordings from last semester. But I record today. I will throw that thing into YouTube. If it works, I will throw it into YouTube, and you'll have a YouTube recording that you can just click on by probably noon. So in order to just not have something happen by omitting a student, I'm just not going to do it, because you're going to get it in YouTube right away. Okay, so I think I'm on the right screen. I should be, because that's the only screen up there. All right, so I'm just going to go through some things here since I've got this up. So basically, if I'm in student view, what you can see right now, you can see all of this. And here's the welcome, the syllabus, the schedule. Here is the OWL Cengage homework. So I sent out an email on that. So you have to buy the code for the homework, which is about $30 maybe. It's about $30. I tried buying it separately. It was $138 or something like that. So due to the fact that we use the textbook from Cengage, they give us a discount. So you are getting that for like almost $30. And students seem to like it. Now, with this OWL homework, it looks like this. If I can get this out of my way here. Hey, get out of there. It's this one. Nope. There it is. So here's the chapter 1 homework in OWL. There's 10 items here, and they all have like 3 questions each. You can submit the answer and go back. I believe it is set. You have unlimited tries. Then you still have to submit this when you are done. You still have to submit it to Canvas. It'll dump directly into Canvas. Now, last semester, if you do not hit submit before the deadline that you'll see, it took 10% off. But I'm not doing that this semester. What I'm doing is this. The late policy in the syllabus is 1.5% per day. Right? That's pretty much anything that's due. You know, you got instructors, and I'm not going to take anything late. And then there's like, oh, it's late. It's going to be 30% right away or 50% and all this. You know what? 1.5% per day is not going to destroy your grade. It's not. So last semester, I had students, they were late 1 or 2 days every assignment. Doesn't destroy your grade. So you have to submit in OWL into Canvas. And I think this is going to work. I have Canvas set to do the 1.5% per day, because you can't do that in OWL. So last semester in OWL, if you were 1 minute late, it was 10%. If you were 2 days late, it was 10%, 3 days late. So I've switched it now to where there's no late penalty in OWL. It is all in Canvas. But remember, you have to submit. You still have to submit by the deadline. So once your OWL homework is all done, you're done with all this, you're done through 10, it's all done, you still have to submit. Okay? So every chapter will have 1 or 2 OWL homeworks to it. And it's pretty good. I do like it. Okay. So again, to get this access code, it is behind the desk up in rental on the 2nd floor. And do not Google and go online and put in OWL homework and buy it there. Because they're going to want you to get an e-textbook along with it, and they're going to want to bill you like $135 or something like that. So just go to the bookstore, buy the code. Any questions on OWL? Yes.
Mine said it needed like an instructor pin to get into the homework.
Yeah, I don't think you need that pin though. I think it, I don't think so. See, who's been in there? Do you need an instructor pin? Some, yeah, you do?
I need one too.
No, I don't think you do. You shouldn't. Let me double check that. Yes.
You just click on the homework and put you right into the instructor page, and then you put in your like code that you get your access code, and then it'll work. You just have to click through the homework like on Canvas.
Yeah, you got to click within here, within Canvas. Yes. All right. Yeah, go through Canvas. That's right. Now it's coming. Yeah, go through Canvas. If you cannot get in, there is the gal actually has a Zoom. You can Zoom with the expert. And I actually put in here, don't email me because I don't have access to troubleshoot it. And maybe it says it right here. If you go through this, you don't need an instructor pin. So in Canvas, yeah, if you go through this assignment portal, you won't need an instructor pin. And Canvas, no, not that. Where is, I've got something here I thought for OWL homework, tech support or something. I know I've got it somewhere. Where did I put that? Somewhere it's in here. Is it in here?
It's that next one down.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. This is it. My bad. So right here, and then Canvas, here's a video, but this is it right here. So this should have live 24/7 student customer support, I believe is right here. So last semester I was on, I've had to call them a little bit too. So if you can't get anywhere there, just send me an email. Okay, that is the OWL homework throughout the semester. You should, now this clutch prep is brand new. And it's impressive because it does the homework right from the textbook. But I don't know, it's like free so far. Once you create an account, and I don't know if they're going to try to bill me now, I might have got something, I don't know. Try the clutch prep. It's impressive. It's all organized by our book. And it does live homework. This is something I found about 2-3 weeks ago. And I put it in here. It's pretty impressive. I'm like blown away that it's free, if it's free. So I'm kind of waiting for the old hook to come. I don't know. Does anybody know anything about clutch prep? No? All right, give it a try. This Canvas student app, you for sure, 100%, this needs to be on your phone. If you do not have the Canvas student app on your phone, you need to go to the App Store, put that on immediately, because anytime I send you an email, it's going to show up in your phone. Not only that, with the Canvas student app, you can submit typically the lab instructors, you're going to scan your homework. So you need a scanner app here as well. So whether or not it's Office Lens, Adobe Scan, or Cam Scanner, those are 3 scanning apps for a PDF. You for sure, if you have Me for Lab, you're going to use that right away. Does that sound familiar? Scanner apps like that. And the nice thing is you can scan 10 pages, share a copy to Canvas, and throw it right into the assignment. So you don't have to do it. It goes directly into Canvas. Okay, what else do I have on here? The rest, pink sheet, green sheet. This is the blue sheet. You should have that in front of you probably right now. Office hours. I'm hoping, like, I'll be here like about 8:30 every day. There's no class in here ahead of time, so if you want to work on the marker board and do whatever you want, bring your coffee, whatever. I'm hoping there's not a class afterwards, but we're gonna find out today. I don't remember if there is. Otherwise, we can Zoom. So if you say, basically, I make the statement, I don't believe in office hours, because when you need help, you need help. And if I can Zoom on Sunday afternoon, when you need help, we'll click this link and we'll go from there. Otherwise, here's 5 rooms set up. So these 5 Zoom synchronous rooms, you could click, you can have email somebody that's in this class or text them, whatever it is, and say, hey, go to Zoom meeting room 2. I got a question on homework. I want to do questions on lab or something like that. You can go into this room. You're not going to need a passcode. I have all these rooms set up to where you can go in without the instructor. So anybody that clicks on this, you should be able to go into this Zoom meeting room, whether it's 2 people, 10 people, whatever. And there's 5 different rooms. So if you want to give that a try. Otherwise, everything's out here. Then eventually we're going to have a test. Here's how the tests are going to go. This is from last semester. So what you're going to do, let me back up. On test day, is you are going to take a picture. No, they took them all out. Oh no, I thought it would have loaded some. I'd have to look from previous. My bad on that. You're going to take a picture of page 1. Page 1, you're going to put your ID on a square on the first page 1. It's going to have a document for you to sign that you are the person taking this test. And blah, blah, blah. You'll sign that. There'll be a test number on the test. You'll take a picture and upload it directly into Canvas, and then they'll start your test. That's in case something happens, tests get mixed up, somebody has the wrong test number, because there's going to be different versions of the exam and all that stuff. And it makes it so nice. Even if one student out here, the whole thing gets messed up, I can look, I know exactly what test version you have, what test number you have, and stuff like that. So the exam is a ways away. You can see maybe that exam 1 is chapters 1 through 3, and that should be on the syllabus schedule here. Now, when I send you a document, I sent you 2 of them. It says download, 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 download. So before you print anything, download it to Word. One of them is going to be an Excel document, but download it to Word. Otherwise, it's going to print all goofy. Okay. So in here is our schedule towards the end. The only other thing you need to know is the late policy, the 3 exams. Nothing's locked in stone on this schedule. But here is our schedule. We're looking for an exam on March 7th. Again, that can vary. The final exam, I believe, is May 18th. 8 to 9:55. That is locked in stone. Do not, unless you can show them, here's how it works. Unless you can show me an airplane ticket or something like that. Our next meeting Wednesday, everybody's going to be here this day. Okay, there is no exceptions. Don't email me and say we planned a vacation, we're flying to Hawaii. No, you will be here on the exam date. That is all set ahead of time. I do not control that. I got an email last semester. Well, can I take that online? No, you cannot take it online. You cannot take it early. You'll be here face-to-face, paper pencil. We'll take the final exam on that date. It's all predetermined. Okay. Exams are paper pencil. They're not going to be online because, believe it or not, I know this is hard to believe, but people cheat. I know that's a new concept, but people do cheat. So all the exam will be face-to-face, paper pencil. Then for attendance, there's attendance sheet going around. I do not grade anything on attendance. I've seen other people's syllabus, if you miss 5 classes, you go down 5%, stuff like that. I'm not grading on attendance. So if you don't feel good, there should be a YouTube video up there and I'll show you the ones for the next one. If you don't feel good, you should be able to watch it on YouTube. So I am not grading on attendance. So let me go back to this. So every week or so, there's going to be a learning guide that we're going to go through in class, and you've already got it. This chapter, there is a quiz that we're going to do as well. So you already have this. I emailed this to you. I'm thinking about doing this for every chapter. But this is chapter 1, because what I usually do is I start out with a review anyway. So I might as well take a couple questions off this to do our review. So this is basically what I call is a take-home quiz. You already have all of the questions. Then you are going to enter the answers to this quiz down here. Right there is going to grade it. I have not put it out there for you, but this is going to be due February 6th, which is, I believe, Sunday night. Okay, so you already have a copy of all the questions. So as we go through stuff in class, work on that quiz, then you're just going to input your answers. And the reason I like to do that is the quiz questions should look similar to the test questions. Okay. So you have the quiz. Here's chapter 2, class recordings. So if we look at this recording right here, these recordings are 1 hour and 15 minutes because that was the length of the class. So that's exactly what I did in class. Okay. So that is YouTube video. That's what it will look like. Any questions so far? Review, late penalty, 1.5% per day for everything, right? Oh, you have to submit it to Canvas. Okay.
I have a question on the submitting.
Yeah.
So do we click submit on OWL and then OWL submits it to Canvas?
Yeah.
Or do we have to upload a file? Or?
Nope, you don't do anything. All you gotta do is click submit in OWL and it automatically dumps into Canvas. Yeah, automatically dumps. Now, grade wise, it is 35% of your grade is OWL and take home quizzes. Now, I don't know how many take home quizzes I'm going to do, but no matter what, between the two, it's going to add up to 35%. So let's say between OWL, let's say there's 7 OWL homeworks and 3 quizzes, right? I'm going to make everything 3.5%. Because 3.5% times 10 would be 35%. So altogether, OWL and take home quizzes is going to be 35%. Okay. Let's talk about lab real quick. Lab, there's 2 classes listed for lab. I don't know why the heck they do that. I don't understand that. But there's 2 sections, there's 2 classes listed for the same labs, period. The first hour of lab is supposed to be discussion. Then the next 2 hours is lab. But I think what they did is they just played a game to make it 2 credits. So they wanted the lab to be 2 credits so that the first hour of discussion is 1 credit and the next 2 hours of lab is 1 credit. So it's 2 credits. I don't know. All you got to do for lab is you figure 3 hours. 3 hours. So no matter what, it's 3 hours. So there is not 2 different classes, even though your schedule looks goofy. Okay. Now, mass. Let's talk about mass. So, it's a science class, first of all. Let's talk about COVID. And I had to look it up because usually I know the numbers. So let's talk a little bit about that real quick. So we know that the COVID virus is all talk about spike protein. Now, what's a protein? 50 or more amino acids in a chain. There are 20 different amino acids. Okay, 20 different amino acids. The spike protein, I just looked it up again, is 1,273 amino acids. So here's what I want you to visualize. You take 20 different colored jelly beans. You take needle and thread, and you string together in any order 1,273 jelly beans. You take that big long string, I don't know how many feet it's going to be, 50 feet long, I don't know, I have to calculate it, maybe more. Take that 50 feet long, let's say it's 50 feet long, the string. You walk up to a Christmas tree that's already in the spike, right? And you wrap that, all those jelly beans on that string around the tree. You go up and down, in and out. There's no order you have to do. You just made a spike protein. Now, if there is a mutation out of those 1,273, you take one yellow jelly bean off and you put in a red one. You just did a mutation. One amino acid out of 1,273. There's 25 to 40 spike proteins on a COVID virus cell. 25 to 40. So that spike protein, if you will, let's take this Christmas tree, tip it upside down so the spike is down on the floor. The floor is a host cell. The virus has to invade the host cell. There are certain numbers, I believe, between 275 and 435 or something like that. Those numbers on the spike protein out of 1,273 is kind of the region where the virus attaches. If there's a mutation in the attachment regions of the protein, it can enter the host cell easier, hence it's going to be more contagious. Now, the Delta variant had 3 mutations, I believe. Omicron has 30 mutations. I believe 30. So there's going to constantly be mutations. I read an article one time, a person was COVID positive for 58 days. And they're treating that patient, right? What's that virus doing inside that body of that patient that was positive for 58 days? That thing's mutating to be that trying to survive. So that's a little bit on the virus. I used to read a lot less. I was in rabbit holes every night reading about the virus and the attachments and all that stuff. So anyway, masks. Yes.
One thing I do find interesting is that viruses have their own taxonomic rankings, but they are listed as unranked.
They are listed as what? Unranked?
Unranked. Viruses are taxonomic. They have no rank to where they belong. No kingdom, no asylum, neither nor no. Well,
we'll talk about that after class. Okay, as far as masks will be over the nose. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It'll be over the nose. I believe, now I can't quote this because usually I can give a source every time. So I believe when I read an article, the KN95 mask I have on. If you have a real one, I bought mine from Bonafide masks. They're real, KN95. The data says I can be around a COVID positive person for 24 hours with this KN95. A cloth mask, 20 minutes. A surgical mask, I think, is about 2 hours. So there's a big difference in masks. So with that, let's wear your mask over your nose. I mean, a 5th grader can do it. A 5-year-old can do it. We can all do it. So that's the policy. That's what we'll follow. Okay. Late for class. If you're going to be late for class, you should come in the door. You should catch the door so it does not make a noise. If you are late for class, there should be, I don't know. Don't be late for class every day, because then eventually I'm going to get very frustrated, because I've had students do that. They're not late one day out of the semester. They come in 5-10 minutes late every single day, and it's distracting to me. It's distracting to everybody in here. It's disrespectful to me. It's disrespectful to everybody in here. Finally, I asked the person, "Why are you late every day?" "Oh, I don't know. I just hit my snooze too many times." No, that doesn't work. If you have to drop a child off, or you're caring for somebody, a grandparent, whatever, and you're gonna be late every day because of that reason, I get it. That makes sense to me. You can come in late every day. I welcome you to come in late every day. If that is a valid reason, because daycare only opens at this time, right? Hitting your snooze every day is not a valid reason. So please don't be one of those that comes in late every single day. Okay, questions? I'm gonna switch over to the document camera because I want to show a calculator. So let's see if I'm gonna share this screen correctly. Oops, I didn't want that. Let's go to this document camera. Yes. Hopefully this recording works. I'm not for sure. Now, calculator. This is about the cheapest, easiest calculator you could ever own. A lot of you have a calculator. You cannot use your phone on the exam, right? So if you have a calculator on your phone, I know they're great. They're fantastic, but you can't use that on the exam. So make sure you have a calculator. Make sure when you come to the exam, you have a calculator and you have extra batteries. If you have a solar calculator, they make a TI-30XA solar. They're really rare. You don't see them very often. So this calculator, the reason I like it is EXP, or your exponential, is right there. And then if you have a number you want to put in scientific notation, I can hit second 5, it throws it in scientific notation, second 4, 4, it floats it back out. This calculator's $11. If you want a graphing calculator, that does a lot of stuff. This is a TI-85 that is over 20 years old, that you can get used on eBay for about $16. It's a great calculator, TI-85 used. You just got to make sure if you go to eBay to buy one, make sure it says it's working and everything. So there is my spiel on calculators. If you have a TI-30X2S, a TI-30X2S, hopefully you also own a gun, because that's what you should use it for, target practice. Because it is about as worthless as you can. It is the most user-unfriendly thing. And so be aware calculator-wise. All right, before we get started, I'm just looking at my list here. I think I got everything. We're going to get started on this sheet here, like very, very soon. Otherwise, a little bit about me. I'm just straight off of a dairy farm. I know cows. I'm just a farm kid from Arkansas, Wisconsin. That's where I grew up from. It's not very far from here, Arkansas, Wisconsin. Just literally straight off the farm. Went to South for a couple of years for electronics. Went to River Falls for pre-vet and then pre-ed. Went to UW for event here for chemistry major, math minor. So I'm a graduate right here with a master's, master's in physics, and then I went to school for a whole bunch of things. So I still am on a hobby farm. I can never get away from cows, so I can still, I got about 10 cows right now. So just pets for the most part, but they still go in the freezer. But so that's me. I've been teaching chemistry for like 30 years. I teach at Chippewa Valley Technical College on top of the hill as well. So I have forensic science up there and chemistry and physics science. So that's me. Okay, so we are going to get started here then. I think I've covered everything. Syllabus, I'm trying to think now if I'm missing anything. I don't think so. Anybody got any questions? Yes.
You want us to bring our textbook class?
Oh, no. You're going to hurt me carrying that thing around. No. And then I accidentally downloaded a complete version of the textbook that I could accidentally put out there. It's a complete PDF file that I accidentally downloaded, that I could accidentally put it out there. And I just came across, I had it for a while, I just came across it last week. So a textbook, and if you look into, your textbook has got like a mini version in there too. If you look somewhere in there, it's an e-textbook type thing, it's pretty good. But if you want a full PDF, I'll try to remember to put that in there. Yeah, don't bring your textbook. Yeah. No. Any other questions? Okay, so hopefully this goes through, but this is basically You can print this out. Some use an electronic pen during class. Some might watch or whatever, but if you get a binder, get a 3-ring binder and put these in. We've got chapters 1 through 8, so it's organized, right? Get yourself a binder because you're gonna have lab and stuff like that. Okay, now, then you'll see here is a Tyler DeWitt video, YouTube. Tyler DeWitt is very good in chemistry. Some people will watch all these Tyler DeWitt videos. Otherwise, you're going to see some of these sheets actually have my YouTube on here as well. It depends on what you're looking at. So, in the beginning here, we're doing some review. Some of you are going to breeze through this like nothing. Others, everybody's got a different background, and we need to respect everybody's background. So, some of you are going to look at this and fly right through it, and others are, you're going to take a little bit. So, all right, with that, we are going to get started. Your first lab this week is just introduction and things like that. And then week 2, you're going to do significant figures and density and things like that. All right, so we are going to get started. If we are going to put a number in scientific notation is going to have one number to the left of the decimal. So no matter what you do to put a number in scientific notation, my number is right here. Now, this gap is not a typo. So you will not see me do this, like 2,324, because in other countries, that comma is a decimal. So to get around that, you'll see me, if I'm typing it, typically I'll gap it every 3. So you're not doing this. So first of all, let me ask you this. What does that equal to? That's 9. Sometimes you just put 6. I do sometimes. But that means 3 times 3, right? No problem. Okay. This obviously should mean 10 times 10. So if you have a number like this, this is the same as, now don't write this down right now. Don't write this down. We're going to take the decimal. And if I want to get my real number out of this, I'm going to take this decimal and I'm going to move it to the right. Now, if you're going to move the decimal to the right, you're an old fart, because the decimal doesn't move anymore. If you tell a 5th grader to move the decimal, they're going to look at you like you are from another planet. The decimal doesn't move anymore. Do you know that? Oh, you can't tell a 5th grader to move the decimal. The decimal does not move anymore. Now, all you old farts in here are going to, this is the same as 100, so you're going to tell me you're going to move the decimal point to the right. 2 places get 212, right? 5th grader is going to tell you this. You leave that decimal right there, and you move the digits to the left 2 places. That's what a 5th grader is going to do. Same thing, right? If you move the numbers the opposite way. So that's what they do nowadays. Don't tell a 5th grader or a 3rd grader or a 4th grader to move the decimal. Now, what does that right there mean?
The numbers to the right.
This is part of this identity. X to the -1 equals 1 over x to the positive, right? So this really means 1 over 10 to the positive 2. That's what that means. People say, oh, we're just going to move the decimal point to the 2 to the left if you see this. But why? Because this is the same as 1 over 100. So if you have 2.12 times 10 to the minus 2, yeah, you move it to the left, 2. But why? Because this is the same as 2.12 times 1 over 100. And when you divide by 100, yeah, you move it 2 to the left. So a little bit of review there. Okay. So if I'm going to put this right here in scientific notation, I guess I forgot to gap it. I like to move in groups of 3. So there's 3, 4, 5 right there. So I'm going to quit, of course, when I get one number to the left of the decimal. So I've got 5.6 times 10 to the 5th. Now, if I have a number greater than 10, I should get a positive decimal here. If I have a number less than 1, I should get a negative decimal. So here is going to be 8 times 10 to the negative 4. Now, this one here stumps people all the time. I see all kinds of goofy answers for this. If I'm going to follow the rules and put this in scientific notation, I'm not going to move the decimal point, right? And it's not this. It's times 10 to the, 0, right? Because 10 to the 0 is 1, right? So here I would move this, and I'm going to get 7.732 times 10 to the, oops, better get on the screen here. Okay. If we are going to put these numbers that are in scientific notation and standard notation, if the decimal is positive, or no, we're going to take the decimal point to the right. And if it's negative, we know that we are going to the left. Now, please, 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 you cannot do this. Listen, 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 listen. Listen, 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 listen. 2.12 times 10 to the second. Let's just do this. 2 times 10 to the second is really what number? 200. I see people do this. 2 times 10 to the second, they write 2 squared. What is 2 squared? 4, right? So don't get the answer previously was 2.12 times 10 to the second. And then I'll see this. These are totally different numbers. You cannot take the 2 there and just put it there. Make sure you're putting your times 10 in there. Okay, so we are going to move this decimal right here to the right 12 places. So right there is 4. So I have 3, 1, 1, 2, 4. And if I keep going to the right, I got to move it another 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then my decimal point is right there, isn't it? And here, I'm going to move this to the left, 6. And if I move it to the left once, I got to do 5 more, right? So I'm going to have something that looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5. And it's a good idea to put this 0 right there. Okay. In your calculator, if you're going to put this in your calculator, do not put in times 10, do not put in times 10, do not put in times 10. If I'm going to put this number in here, this is 2 EE or EXP 8. It is not 2 times caret 10, 8 is not that. Do not put in times 10. So in this calculator, it's going to go 2 EE 8. It's going to look like this. Take that white off. On this calculator, this is what I like about this calculator. It is going to be 2 EE right here and 8. It looks like this. If you have TI 83, you got to hit the second to get the EE because it's in a different color. It matches that color, right? Why Texas Instrument couldn't have built them all the same is frustrating to me. Some you have EE right there without hitting the second. If your EE is underneath here in the same color as one of these buttons, you know you have to put one of those buttons. But again, you do not put in times 10. So go ahead and grab your calculator, put that in. And this right here, by the way, is the negative key. Do not put the subtraction key in to make that negative. Negative or plus minus. So you have your calculators. Slam this in. This is a multiplication. Otherwise, let me show you how to do it without a calculator. Without a calculator. 5 times 2 is 10. Times 10. When you multiply exponents, you add them. -6 plus 8 is 2. And this is the same as 1,000, but you have to put this in scientific notation. 1 times 10 to the third. We'll do this one without a calculator as well. I'm setting you up for this last ugly looking thing. .5 divided by 1.5 is 3 times 10 to the, when you divide, you subtract the bottom exponent. So I would have 36 minus 12. So my answer is going to be 3 times 10 to the 24. Number 9. This is going to give you an error. And by the way, this TI-85 will do the 999th power. The newer ones will go 99th power. So this old beast here will go to the 999th power. 9 times 9 is 81 times 10 to the 400 plus 621 is going to be what? 1,021? 1021? Okay. But we're not in scientific notation. So 81 times 10 to the 1021 is the same as 8.1 times 10 to the 1022 or 1020. Now we got to think this out. My decimal point is right there. I have to move it to the, well, originally, let's just say, let's just use my 1021. If I use my 1021 right away, I would say I have 81 times 10 to the 1021. I would move it 1,021 to the right. If I move it to the left once to put it in scientific notation, then I'm gonna have to go 1022, right? This down here, you can do this separately. Then add and subtract exponents. I'm gonna leave that for you. And then we can check in next time on that one. Okay. Now, I couldn't take this off. It's a great write-up. I couldn't do it. It's like, oh, I should shorten this up. I couldn't take it off. This talks about the history of units and everything. The Egyptians built the monuments, the pyramids, digits, width of a finger way back. The length of the tip of the elbow to the tip of the middle finger was a cubit. Then they said a cubit is 28 digits, and you have paces, and you have all kinds of stuff. In England, distances were defined with reference to body features of the king. A yard was the circumference of his waist. An inch was the width of his thumb, and so on. Then you'll see the definition of an inch that they lined up 3 dry barley farms. The whole United States is in land sections, and then rods and acres, right? So somewhere along the line, though, I mean, these measurements came about. Then the British imperial system, traditional system was weights and measures used officially in Great Britain from 1824 until the adoption of the metric system in 1965. What system do we have? The English system. When did they abandon their system? 1965. Who still uses the English system? United States, Liberia, and Burma, I believe, is the only 3. That's it. Now, this is a good analogy here. There are only 26 letters in the English alphabet. Yet with these 26 letters, it is possible to construct all the words in the English language. Similarly, there are 7 letters in the language of measurement, from which all units of measurement are derived. These 7 letters are distance, mass, time, electric charge, temperature, amount, and luminous intensity. These are the fundamental units. So on this page right here, on table 2, on page 5, these are the 7 letters that control all of the units in the universe. These are the 7 fundamental units: distance, meter, mass, kilogram, time, second, electric charge, coulomb, temperature, Kelvin, amount of substance, mole, luminous intensity, Kelvin, Kelvin. From these 7, we can do all of the other units that to describe the universe. So 7 fundamental units. Now, what's that? We go to 950 or 955? 950. So we gotta be done in 1 minute, huh? Right there. Okay. So, no format of the class. Next time we meet, we're starting right here. Okay. All right, have a good day. Don't smoke, vape, or get COVID.